Hi. It's almost 2 a.m. but I'm feeling very awake. I just got back from the gym a little while ago. Just me doing my little nocturnal activities. 'Cause I'm a vampire. And I was just thinking about what does it mean to be a happy person. I made a video earlier called "So You've Decided to Become a Happy Person," and that sort of got me thinking more about it. And I want to talk about this because I feel like we all sort of collectively have this misunderstanding about what it means to be a happy person. And especially when it comes to the law of attraction, because when you start learning about all this, about the law of attraction, and then you learn that how you feel matters more than all of the dreams and all of the manifestations and whatever. Because, your life is just a string of moments in which you feel some type of way. And these moments are the pathway to whatever dream, whatever manifestation that you want. Your life is not these big moments, these big manifestations. It's small moments that lead up to those things. So those small moments really matter. So it really matters how you feel. But I had this misunderstanding too at first when I got into the law of attraction and manifestation. I thought that you needed to feel good all the time. Like, it's like there's this misunderstanding that you're almost trying to eliminate all the other emotions. And you think that when you're feeling something other than good, other than happiness, whatever this good feeling is, whatever you want to call it, if you're feeling something other than that, then something is going wrong. And I feel like a lot of people have this misunderstanding also about what it means to be a happy person. As if being a happy person means that you eliminate all the other feelings in the world. And you are just happy and positive and feeling good all the time, 24/7. But that's just not what it is. I'm telling you this as a practicing happy person. I don't know what else to call it other than practicing happy person, because it is about practicing. It's about your habits of thought and what you are practicing. You can practice positive thinking or negative thinking. And I feel that being a happy person is just about practicing positive thinking. But not just that, it's about catching yourself when you do that thing that makes you feel less than that. When you think those thoughts that make you feel worse and worse and worse. Catching yourself when you do that and deciding to do something different. I have videos about that, which I'm gonna link here so you could see what I mean. But it's not like when you become a happy person, that you never ever feel any other emotion, and you don't want that either, because this emotional spectrum exists so that we can make choices. How can you know what happy is if unhappy never happens? You can't know. It just becomes one dull feeling if no other feelings exist. So I can tell you right now, if you want to be a happy person or become a happy person, it's not like you never ever feel anything else when you are a happy person. So you can stop trying to do the impossible and stop thinking that when you're feeling some other emotion that doesn't feel good, you're feeling some type of negative emotion, some type of bad feeling, that something is going wrong. Because that's just simply not the case. You need to be able to make choices. You need to be able to know what your preferences are in this life. What is wanted by you and unwanted by you. Like, both need to exist, and you need to experience both to know, to reach some sort of clarity. When you are a happy person, it's not like you're happy all the time, and you don't have to be happy all the time. You're not gonna be happy all the time. I promise you. No matter who you are thinking about right now, these happy people that you are aware of, somewhere on the internet or somewhere in the world or even somewhere in your own life, they're not happy all the time. It's just simply not possible. It's not how this universe is set up. So you can just give up the impossible task that you are giving yourself. You're assigning this to yourself to be happy all the time. It's not how this works. It's just that happiness, from what I have discovered, is just a moment-to-moment thing. It's like in this moment, it either is or it isn't. It's not a destination that you get to. It's just a moment-to-moment thing. And you need to have these moments in which it isn't, so you could know when it is, if that makes sense. I know it's like 2 a.m., but I'm still hoping that I make some sort of sense to you. I just want to ponder about this. I want to analyze this, because I feel like myself too. Sometimes I get into this place where I'm like, I should not ever feel some kind of bad feeling ever again, because something is going wrong if I am feeling that way. That's just not the case. Like, basically, this is what it means to be a happy person. I'm going to use myself as an example right now, because this person, Kelly here, is the only person to, whose life I have front row seats to. So it makes sense to use myself as an example. But today, I, as a self-proclaimed happy person, had several emotions that were not happiness. Basically, that other video that I made about becoming a happy person, when I went outside today to make that video, I was feeling kind of annoyed while I was outside, because I had just woken up this morning and I had a headache. And So that made me, I was kind of annoyed about that headache. Like it just wouldn't go away. And then I had some other things happen, because that's how law of attraction works. You get going on some emotional state like that, and then law of attraction sends you evidence that here is your emotional state. This is what it is. So there were manifestations happening throughout my day, half of my day, that were showing me you're kind of annoyed right now. And you know, being annoyed is really not that big of a deal. It's not like some sort of big negative feeling, but it feels uncomfortable nevertheless. And so as I was outside and I had just filmed that other video, and I was like getting annoyed by what was happening around me, because I had already been annoyed, and now the universe was just matching my emotional state. And then it's like when you start practicing law of attraction, then you feel as if you should not feel annoyed in this situation. You feel that something is going wrong because you're annoyed. And there's this temptation when you're not feeling good to start, you kind of get pissed off with yourself for not feeling better. And that was kind of like what was starting to happen with me. Because, you know, I was feeling annoyed and I was having physical manifestations all around me to show me that I am annoyed right now. And my emotional response to them was annoyance. Because of course it was. And so then I realized, okay, these manifestations, everything is showing me that I am annoyed right now. And I started to go down this track of feeling like something's wrong, like I shouldn't be annoyed. And you know, I know better than this. I'm the one who's talking about finding better feeling thoughts. I'm the one who's talking about being happy. I'm the one who's talking about feeling good. I should be doing better than this. That's how I was feeling, starting to feel that way. And then I just realized that that's not how this works. You know, just because I am a happy person doesn't mean that I never ever experience any other emotion. I am supposed to experience other emotions so I can tell what happy is. This is not something going wrong. Just because I'm annoyed right now doesn't mean that something has gone wrong or I'm doing really badly at this happiness thing. There's a temptation to think that when you get into this, and then you start feeling better and better until you feel good, and then something happens, you fall back into feeling some other way that feels worse. You think you're doing something wrong, and then you get pissed off with yourself. You're basically getting annoyed that you are annoyed. Like, that's ridiculous. And it's just part of the process. And so being a happy person in this case is just about catching that, realizing, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. I'm feeling annoyed. But that doesn't mean that I need to go off on this track in which I get upset with myself that I'm feeling that way. And I was able to catch it early enough before momentum really got going, where I was just like, okay, you know, these physical manifestations, they're showing me that I am annoyed. I know that I am annoyed. And so my first priority right now is not to pretend anything, not to be like, no, actually everything is fine, I am happy. No, my priority right now is just to accept this emotion. Just to be like, I'm annoyed and that's fine. That's okay. Nothing has gone wrong. I'm just experiencing this different emotional state. That's all it is. And it won't last forever. So then I got to that kind of place. And then I started thinking, it's really not that bad. I can just observe this emotional state that I'm in right now. And I can make the connection between how I am feeling and what is happening in my physical reality. Physical reality, which is just showing me, is responding to me and showing me that I am annoyed right now. I can use this moment for more clarity on that this is how the laws of the universe work. And then I started thinking, I really am very glad to see that the law of attraction is responding to me exactly how it has always been. It's responding to me exactly the way that I have been talking about on this channel. I am so glad to see that in the past 24 hours, nothing has changed about how the universe works. I am feeling annoyed, and therefore things are happening around me and thoughts are happening inside my head that just make me feel even more annoyed, that are showing me that I'm annoyed. That's how this universe works. I'm so glad to see that the universe is this consistent. And it is. It's very consistent. I just started observing that emotional state. And I was like, because, I had manifestations happening. Like people were being loud and there were loud noises in my environment and everything. I have noticed this about myself before, where when I am feeling good and these same things are happening, especially loud noises, if I'm feeling good, I'm not really bothered by any of that stuff. But if I am in an annoyed state or frustrated state or something, that doesn't feel good, then it's like I'm like 10 times more sensitive to sound, to loud sound. So I could make these kinds of connections. So this is what being a happy person is sometimes when you're not feeling that way. You try to catch yourself and you try to think something that would make you feel better. Me thinking all of these things about how the universe works and how I'm so glad to see that the law of attraction is responding to me the same way as it ever has been, all of that made me feel better in that moment. And then I was just thinking, well, this is just a moment in time. It won't last forever. It's really not that big of a deal that I'm annoyed right now. And then I was thinking, pretty soon I will be probably making a video about this. It's material for my videos. Great. That made me feel better too. And then pretty soon, I got home and I started working on that other video that I mentioned, and then I went to the gym and then I noticed that, hey, I'm not feeling annoyed anymore. I am back to my good feeling state. Had a great time at the gym. And then I just sort of realized that this is what being a happy person is. It's just noticing how you are feeling. And if it's like less than good, then you have choices about what to do with that. You can either feel better or you can feel worse. So in this case, I was able to feel better because it wasn't really that big of a feeling. And momentum hadn't gotten away from me yet. But sometimes all you can do really is just chill out about it. So then that's what you do. And when you practice that, when you practice just noticing how you're feeling and trying to help yourself somehow, instead of like, being mad at yourself for not feeling better, then as you practice that, you will start to notice that you get better and better at helping yourself. You will bounce back faster. I didn't spend all of my day feeling annoyed. I just bounced back from that. And happy people have bad days too, Sometimes momentum just gets going. You just get going on some kind of emotional state that doesn't feel good. And you don't catch it early enough. And then there's kind of sort of nothing really to do about it. You just have to chill. You just have to be like, oh, that's fine. I just feel how I feel right now. Better luck tomorrow. It doesn't mean that I've messed up my progress, or it doesn't mean that I'm not a happy person after all. It just means that I am experiencing the full emotional spectrum just the way that it is supposed to be. This is how the universe is set up. This is how we, humans, are set up. Nothing has gone wrong. This is all just part of the process. Being a happy person is not something that you just get to and then you are. You have to care about how you feel and try to make yourself feel better. Do things to make yourself feel better. Try to find relief in terms of how you're feeling. And care about that. And that's all it is. And I have other happy people in my life. And I see the same thing with them. It's not like they are always happy. They also get worried about something sometimes, or they get frustrated, or they're angry sometimes. It's just that, what is the difference between these people and the mostly unhappy people? The difference is that the mostly happy person cares about how they feel. And they do things to help themselves feel better because they don't like feeling like shit. And that's all it is. You just have to practice finding relief. Have to practice feeling better. Have to practice noticing how you're feeling and then doing something about it, caring about it. It's not really any more complicated than that. And because happiness is just a moment-to-moment thing, if you practice it like this, you will just simply begin to have more happy moments. And then you basically are a happy person. It's just about appreciating things, finding things to appreciate more of the time than complaining about things. It's thinking about things that you want more of the time than thinking about things that you don't want. It's not this whole big, complicated thing. And really, you can make that change. I'm assuming you're here because you want to make that change. You would like to be a happier person. You can make that change. It's just about practicing different thoughts that make you feel a different way. It's just about practicing picking the sword up from the handle end. And I'm gonna link my video here where I'm talking about what the fuck that is. These happy people that you see around you, it's not that they got happy and now they just are there all the time. They just care about keeping themselves balanced, centered. They find, even if they're not talking about the things that I'm talking about, they may not be talking about the law of attraction and manifestation and stuff like that. But if you pay attention, these people always have something, things that they do to help themselves feel better. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be, I don't know, yoga or something, or meditation, or going to the gym, or, they just have hobbies that they like to do, things that make them feel better. And they do those things. They do those things more of the time than they do any kind of complaining about anything. They don't watch the news that much. Yeah, they know what's going on in the world, but they're not like obsessed with it. Because you can't really be, because it starts messing up your vibration. It starts messing up your emotional state. If you pay like a lot of attention to that. Have you noticed? If you care about how you feel, you gotta make some different choices. And it doesn't mean that you can't know what's going on in the world. You can know, but it's just about doing more things to help yourself feel better. You're just trying to recenter yourself, no matter what kind of emotional state you are going through. If it doesn't feel good, you just try to recenter yourself somehow. Either you distract yourself from it by doing something that would make you feel better. Watch a funny movie or something. Go for a walk. Go meditate if that's something you like to do. And just chill out. If you're not feeling that good, know that it's okay. Know that that will not last forever. It's just a moment in time. And then catch yourself when you want to complain about stuff. Ask yourself, how does this feel when I do this? It doesn't feel good. So maybe I won't do this after all, or I will do less of that. It's about making choices like that. And really, it doesn't matter where you have been or who you have been before, or like what your life has been before. If you want to make this change, you can. I have this friend, and they're much older than me, but it's so funny because they would tell me stories about the way that they used to be when they were younger. They would be like, I was just this like fiery person. I was very, how would I put this? I was just very easily upset about things. I was the kind of person that would send like angry letters all around and do like act crazy and like all of that. And every time they tell me something like that, I'm like, it's like I can't even believe it, because they're not like that at all today. I'm always like, well, I've never met that person. Because these days they're just so chilled out. They take care of themselves. They manage their mood to the best of their ability. They try to think better feeling thoughts and good feeling thoughts when they're able to. And not complain so much about stuff. Especially stuff that they can't do anything about. And they catch themselves in the act if they start doing that. And then they decide to do something different. And they have their own practices about how to make themselves feel better. You don't have to practice this law of attraction thing or manifestation. You can have your own things. This friend, for example, their thing is, I hope I'm saying this right in English, but it's cosmoenergetics. Have you ever heard about that? That's a thing. And I don't practice that, but we can still talk about it because there's just so much overlap between the things that we practice. And that's just because all of these practices, these basically self-help practices, they're all about one thing, which is get happy. They're all about feeling better. They're all about finding relief. They're all about centering yourself. It's all the same thing. Law of attraction, same thing. So it's just about finding these things for yourself and then practicing them and not caring what other people have to say, because when you start doing this, other people will tell you that you're crazy, that you're insane, that you've lost your mind. And you feel like you have just gained your mind, basically. It's like that. I'm losing my voice. It's like that. You have to care about how you feel more than you care about what other people say or what other people's opinions are of you or what you are doing or anything. Just remember, most people, they don't feel that good. So they can't really tell you anything else. They can only speak from their perspective and the things that they have experienced. If you want to become a happy person, why would you listen to unhappy people? They can't really tell you anything that would help you. So I wanted to talk about this because being a happy person is not about eliminating all the other emotions in the world. You need them. They have a purpose. You need to be able to discern what you want and what you don't want, what you consider good and what you consider bad, wanted, unwanted. And also, that's just what being human is. You're supposed to feel all these things sometimes. Your natural state is happiness, yes. But that doesn't mean that all the other emotions are wrong and shouldn't ever happen. So you can stop trying to do that impossible thing where you try to be happy and positive all the time. You don't need to do that. Just try to feel as good as you can feel right now or in any moment that you're in. And if you don't feel that good, chill out. Realize it's not that big of a deal. Realize that you are still a happy person even if you don't feel good right now. It's just about practicing different habits of thought. A different habit of thought that feels better to you. It's not more complicated than that. And when you do that, law of attraction, I promise you, it will respond. It will deliver to you more situations and more people and more events and more things that feel like that feel better, that feel good, that feel like happiness. Like you will literally start to transform your whole life over time if you do this. But just understand that all the other emotions are part of the process too, and that they won't ever go away, and you don't want them to go away. That's what being happy is. That's what being a happy person is. You just make better feeling choices. You look for relief. And you try to chill out more of the time. More of the time than you spend worrying about stuff, basically. So yeah, you can be a happy person, and it's not that difficult. And when you are a happy person, it doesn't mean that you don't ever feel any other type of way. So when you inevitably feel some other type of way, just know that there's purpose to this, and just know that you're gonna bounce back. That moment won't last forever. And it doesn't mean that you're not a happy person because you're not feeling happy in that moment. It's all just part of the process. That's all it is. So I hope that this has been helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.